All right, so you see all these guys, right? You see all these guys renting Lambos. You see all these guys renting all of the supercars. It's literally the easiest in the world to go get. Literally $1,000 a day, you can rent out a supercar. I did it in Dubai. Anybody can fucking do it. The reality is, there's one thing that you cannot buy. You guys that have been following me for a while, you know what that is. That's your physique. You cannot buy that. You cannot rent it. It has to be something that you earn. It's something that a lot of people do not have. And that's the number one thing you need to focus on, especially going into 2026. It'll be the most important time because everything's going to be commoditized. Everything's going to be commoditized with AI. Everything's going to be commoditized with all of the new changes that are happening in the world right now. But the number one thing that cannot be changed, at least for the next couple decades, because yeah, we can get into cyborgs, we can get into all the crazy shit. That's not going to happen anytime soon. Right now, that's the one thing. If you can nail that down, you have something rare. And yes, you have to make money. I'm not talking to the guys who don't make money. I'm talking to the guys who have made money, who are trying to have some sort of a status symbol that other people don't have, and they're falling for the materialistic bullshit. I can tell you it's materialistic bullshit because I have access to those things. I can tell you that. But the reality is, what really matters is how you present yourself and how you look. That's what gets you the real respect nowadays. Having a high status physique will get you respect when you go into rooms where there's people with a lot of money. Realistically, most people won't be able to compete there. I've been in these rooms. I couldn't compete when it came to money, but I surpassed them when it came to how I presented myself and how I looked. That was the number one thing. Having sex appeal is very important, especially as an entrepreneur. It's not what you think it is. It's not just for women. It's also for the respect of men. Because when a man can see that you step in and he's like, okay, he probably can get whatever he wants when it comes to dating women, when it comes to being attractive, there's a certain level of respect that you get that cannot be replicated. There's a certain amount of respect that that gives you that when it comes to having the car, when it comes to having all those things, it doesn't even compare. And you can even see it. Like, I dare you, go on YouTube right now, go look at the Monaco videos of the guys coming out of the cars with the hot models and shit like that. Look at how everybody, even you, your attention goes towards the car, it goes towards the model that they either paid for or they have just because they have the money. It never goes towards the guy. And the reason for that is because he didn't build himself up. He built the resources that he had, which again is highly commendable. I think all men need to build their resources. That's what we have to do as men. You have to make money. You have to get to a point where you can sustain yourself. But after that, and when you realize that that's the easiest part, believe it or not, there's some people who are watching this, they're like, this is the hardest part. You think that until you have it. But the crazy paradox is when you're broke, it's the easiest time to actually get in shape because you have all of the time to be able to go through YouTube, figure out what the best workout. You can become an expert in fitness when you're broke. I did. Shit works. But when you're rich, you don't have the time or the desire to do it because you have excess, you have abundance. You have abundance to be able to do every other thing imaginable, but then when it comes to the respect that you're supposed to have as a man, you don't have it and you start to feel it. It creeps up on you. So when you get to that point, you now have to figure out, okay, well, how do I actually invest time into this whole like fitness thing? Like, what's the diet? You don't really want to think about it. So you keep pushing it off, right? But the reality is that's why you have the money so that you can buy the systems to be able to get that done. Now, when you're broke, you can figure the systems out for yourself. It works. So it doesn't matter. There's a paradox. Either way, you still have to get to that middle point of you have the money and you also have the physique, and that gives you the confidence, that gives you the resiliency in life, that gives you a better outlook on life. But you have to do that as soon as possible because, again, big pharma is going crazy right now. All of the vaccines, we saw that, like the jab, that was big. That was literally a psyop to destroy your health. I know people are gonna hate me for saying this, but it's true. You see all of these new viruses that are coming around. You see all of these new things that are popping up left and right. You see food getting worse, especially in the US. I'm glad I moved. It's all bullshit. All the food has high sodium in it. It puffs up your face. It has you store fat easier than anything else. All of these psyops are starting to come in. Why? Because it's a way for you to stay at the lowest possible state as a man, which is fat, out of shape, not confident in yourself, and not moving through life with power, because powerless men are very easy to control. When you actually feel good about yourself and you're also making the money, you are a hard person to fucking control. So that's why it's very, very important, especially because 2026 is going to be that year where everything gets weird. Everything gets super, financials get weird. You see the stock market starting to act crazy. You see Bitcoin dropping, everything's being manipulated. You start to see all these random diseases popping up that shouldn't have, because they're testing specific things to see how the people respond. You see digital IDs coming out. You see censorship. Everything starts to get weird. But the one thing that you can control is your own health. That's the one thing that you actually can have some freedom in. To know, like, I'm a healthy person. I'm somebody who looks good. I'm somebody who actually looks stand up. And you can also control your finances at this point in time. But at the end of the day, if you do not build a high status physique by at least 2026, I'm telling you, it takes 3 to 6 months. There's people who are like, no, it takes years. It takes years because you're fucking lazy. And you like to cut corners and you don't actually put together products. I've had people literally do this shit in 3 months. It is 100% possible. But you gotta put yourself in the shoes of the person that you want to be. And you have to do those things. So I hope this was valuable for you. Again, link will be in the description. If you're an entrepreneur and you're somebody who wants a system to be able to build a high status physique, to be able to get the respect, to be able to have the sex appeal, to attract women, to be able to do well in business, to have your appearance speak for you, as well as all the other things that you have, the link will be in the description. And if you don't have any money, this is the time to make money. Go on YouTube, figure out ways to do that shit, and come back to me when you do it. But I hope this was valuable for you. Catch you on the next video.